When it comes to overcoming anxiety, I see people making lots and lots of mistakes. But over the years, I basically boiled it down to about 4 main mistakes, which I made myself and which I see coming up again and again with other people. I struggled with anxiety for my whole life, and these 4 points really held me back until I understood them and started addressing them in my early 30s. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down each one of these mistakes in turn, and I'm going to be giving you concrete steps that you can implement to make sure you overcome them. This video could be the video that changes your relationship to anxiety forever and really changes your life. So I can't wait to get into this. But before we dive into it, if you're a business owner, a professional, or an entrepreneur who's struggling with anxiety and stress and you'd like to work one-on-one with me, then go ahead and click that link in the description below this video, because we're currently offering a 12-week cognitive reprogramming course, which is allowing entrepreneurs and business owners to tackle their anxiety at its very root and overcome it in as little as 8 weeks. Right, so now let's get into these 4 mistakes. Number 1, and this is huge, and that is addressing the symptom but not the underlying cause. Now, if there's one takeaway I'd like you to go away from this video with, it is this paradigm shift that anxiety is not the problem in itself. It is actually only a surface level manifestation or a symptom of a deeper problem. You can think of it like a fire alarm that's going off. If the fire alarm's going off, you could just get up and smash the fire alarm if you want. That will solve your problems, right? For the time being, there's no noise that's disrupting you. You can go back to sleep, but the fire is still raging on somewhere. And it's just like this with anxiety. Your amygdala is firing up. Your stress response is fully activated. It's trying to alert you to the fact there is a deeper level problem going on somewhere, and people only address this surface level. They basically just try to muffle or even smash the fire alarm. And this kind of misguided thinking of just trying to treat the surface level symptom leads to this very common syndrome where people run around all over the place looking for all kinds of band-aid solutions, whether it's medication or even in my case, flying off down to Peru to try ayahuasca and these kind of plant medicines, trying hypnosis tracks, acupuncture, essential oils, massage, relaxation techniques, whatever it is. I've tried them all, but it all stems from this misguided thinking that you can just treat the symptom without ever getting to this deep underlying root cause of anxiety. So the thing that I really want you to understand, and this big paradigm shift, which I would love to take place for you, is to understand that the root cause of anxiety is your mind. It's your subconscious mind. It's these mind viruses, as I like to call them, or you can think of them as faulty malware that you're running in the computer of your mind. And these are what are causing all of your anxiety. It's deep in your subconscious thought patterns, in your supercomputer's operating system, and these viruses need eliminating and reprogramming. And that's what we do with clients. So please try to understand this, that you can go treating the surface level symptoms for your whole life and never ever get to the problem. It's a little bit like if you had a brain tumor and you have terrible pain and you just keep taking stronger and stronger medication to mask the pain without ever having a CT scan to actually realize that there's a tumor which is growing in your brain. And the longer you treat the surface level symptoms, the longer that tumor is actually left to grow and spread. The second common mistake I see with people is that they think that they are the problem. They look in their family and say, well, my mum had anxiety, my grandmother had anxiety, my brother's got anxiety, therefore it must be me. It's all my fault. It's in my genes. And they start to label themselves. I'm an anxious person, or I have anxiety. And this is a completely wrong-headed way to look at things. Even if you have a genetic predisposition towards anxiety, there's something called epigenetics, which actually determines how genes express themselves. So there's things that you can do that will determine whether you express these anxious genes or not. So people should not create this idea that it's all about them, it's in their genes, they have it, and it's this problem. That's actually closing off any kind of debate around the wider societal issue, which is why have hundreds of millions of people got this problem? Why are we seeing an anxiety epidemic? You are not alone. Surely there are wider issues we need to look at here. And the other problem I have with this, where people identify themselves as the problem and they start to label it, is you think of anxiety as a thing that you have, an illness. It's me. I'm always going to be like this. But anxiety at the end of the day is just fear. It is a feeling, and it occurs in response to a stimulus. And just like anger or sadness or hunger, these things arise and they disappear. You don't feel hungry all the time. You don't feel angry all the time. You don't feel sad all the time. I don't walk around telling people, oh, I'm a hunger sufferer. I'm a hungry person. It's just my problem. I'm like this. This is me. This is my identity. So I think there's a lot of misguided thinking around this. You basically experience fear, aka anxiety, and you can reprogram how you experience this and the situations in which you experience it and the degree to which you experience it. But again, it all comes from reprogramming the mind. The third mistake I see is that people try to go it alone. They do not seek help. And this is especially true among professionals and business owners and entrepreneurs, the people that I coach. And this is because there's a lot of shame and stigma still attached to mental health, and especially around high achievers like the people I work with. They've built companies, they've achieved great things professionally. So it's very hard for them to reach out and say, actually, I'm struggling. And we should remember that there is absolutely no shame in seeking help. This is the fastest way to get results. All the top performers, whether it's in business, sports, academics, they all have mentors, teachers, coaches. The best coaches in the world have coaches, therapists have therapists. But when it comes to anxiety, people can be unwilling to seek help because of this stigma that's still attached to it. And the fourth and final mistake, which I see people making when overcoming anxiety, is they try to overcome it. They have some half-hearted idea that, yes, this is something that I really should tackle. It's been bothering me for a number of years. I really should get round to it. But this kind of lukewarm approach can never yield real results. Overcoming anxiety is not difficult once you understand what you need to do and you have a systematic, methodical plan. But you have to be determined. You have to be committed. You have to draw a line in the sand, just as I did in my early 30s, and say, enough is enough. This is it. I'm sick of all of this. I know I can achieve much more. I know I can do much better. And I'm sick of just holding myself back and being crippled by this anxiety. You can't lie around on the sofa watching Netflix thinking, yeah, I would like to have a brilliant anxiety-free life. You have to really make a firm commitment to actually do this and get it done. And if you're at that point now and you are ready to take action, then click the link in the description below this video, book yourself in for a 15-minute roadmap call, and we can discuss how we can get you on a program to eliminate your anxiety.